So I think the hardest thing about doing a podcast is how to start the podcast,
At least it's the hardest thing so far.
because we haven't done anything else.
Yeah, I mean, we're 3 seconds in, so this is the hardest part. So
We could do we had an intro song, like a rap.
I offered a
something.
rap to start the podcast,
I said
which I thought was an excellent idea, and the whole world would tune in to hear me rap.
I would do life with someone else if that were the case.
But then, because we live in a very sarcastic family, I started my rap. I had one line, and then Jason had a line, and then Connor offered a line, and then we told Brooklyn about it, and she offered a line. So we really could start this with a rap.
That would be embarrassing. This is called the Doing Life Together podcast. And
You know what? Congratulations on saying it right.
so this whole time I say either doing life together or living life together. So if I call it living life together, that's we're doing that too.
Yeah.
We're doing life together. We're living life together.
You know, we're real.
We are.
And sometimes we don't know what we're saying.
I want to apologize to everyone who already tuned in. It's okay if you want to turn it off. That's fine. We may get better at this, and it may just be this for.
If you're looking for like the super serious podcast, you're in the wrong spot. That's all I have to say.
We're doing this somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour and a half.
I mean, that sounds reasonable to me.
I think it's reasonable. I can ramble for 45 minutes. I know that.
That's true.
Yeah. So so here we are.
Welcome.
Doing life together. We're in a new year.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Welcome to 2025.
2025, and full disclosure, we're shooting this in 2024, so it's
So
weird.
it's not 2025.
It's weird to say.
I feel like I just lied to
but you're
everyone.
listening to this in the future.
Wow.
Something.
That was deep.
This is blowing my mind right now. 2025. Man, it has been a great year so far.
I love 2025.
It's so good. I hope you guys had a happy and safe New Year.
Yes.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Speaking by faith, but I'm sure we did.
God, this is horrible. So we are Jason and Tiffany Shirley. We are lead pastors at Word of Life Church in Carlsbad, New Mexico. This is for our listeners around the world.
Oh yeah, worldwide.
And we'll find out. I mean, if you, wherever you're listening from, watching from, let us know. We want to know if there's one of you, if there's 5 of you, if there's 5,000. 5,000.
Yes, 5,000.
Are you on this fist bump thing today?
Yeah, I am. I guess. I don't know.
5,000 of you.
5,000.
5 million of you. But
That might be a
anyway,
little lofty
you
for
can
our first one. 5 million.
maybe for the first one.
We'll get there.
You can check us out on all platforms, and so make sure you do that. Whatever platform you're on, make sure you subscribe. That helps us out.
Mm-hmm.
So do that. Follow us on social media too. That'll be on the screen, I'm sure. So
We don't know what they are yet.
I should have been way more smooth than that. You weren't supposed to say that. I was going to act like we already had it done.
We can fix it in post.
No, can't. So anyway,
That's our favorite phrase, just so you know.
follow us on all forms of social media.
Yes.
And let's do life together. What about that? Sound good?
Yeah.
Doing life together. So again, we are Pastors Jason and Tiffany Shirley. We're really happy to do this and excited to do this podcast. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, but I thought to start out, maybe we should just start talking about who we are, what we do, what our story is, how we met. We used to tell that story all the time when we were youth pastors. We youth pastored for 20 years.
A long time.
And we're up there, y'all.
We're not young.
We are not young, but we youth pastored for 20 years. We used to tell our story all the time. And when we would tell our story, We would talk about dating and how to do it right, and how to do it wrong, things that we did wrong, and we'll probably get into a little bit of that as we go. But we've been married, gosh, 20. Hold on, let me do the math.
Waiting.
Are you 22 years?
Mm-hmm.
We've been married 22 years. And so that's a long time. I don't know why she stayed with me for 22 years, but I'm really glad that you have and that we're doing life together.
Truth.
Hashtag doing life together.
We're not going to do this on a regular basis, are we?
I am. That's
hashtag.
I'm looking for a signature podcast move.
That's not it.
This is my
Please,
signature
God.
move. Hashtag.
This is it.
This is horrible. I got to stop saying that. Horrible. Terrible.
I feel like Jasmine's over there in the background just laughing at us.
So we met a couple of years before we got married. Why am I starting the story this way? You want to talk?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd love to talk.
Love it.
So we met my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And started.
I was 28.
No,
just kidding. I wasn't.
He was in college. He's a little older. I snagged me an older dude.
I was 20.
He's a year and a half older than me. So, first semester of my senior year, we met and started talking and stuff. Actually, the night that we really met for the first time, really talked for the first time, we went to church together.
Yeah.
So, like, I knew of him. I mean, he led worship, so it's kind of hard to not know who he was, but it wasn't like we were friends.
Legendary.
Something like that. But I got to church that night, and apparently Jason, Mr. Leadfoot over here, had gotten a ticket.
Legendary foot. That's what you meant.
He had gotten a ticket, and he was in downtown Sand Springs, Oklahoma. That's where I went to school. Yep. That's where we went to church.
Go Sandites.
Go Sandites. And he saw me. He was downtown paying a ticket and saw me drive by in my 1999 green Grand Am. Is a nice car at that time. It hasn't been a nice car.
She had a 1999 Pontiac Grand Am in 2001.
2000.
This
was November of 2000.
Okay, yeah. So
we started dating.
Say that so condescending. Like I should know all these dates. So she had a 99 Grand Am in the year 2000. I had an 89 Chevy Cavalier. So the molding had fallen off of the door, and the oil was so caked on the engine from where it leaked so much. I think it was holding it all together. So yeah.
So basically, he saw me drive by.
I pushed that little car a lot.
Pushed it?
No, I mean I didn't push it with my hands. I pushed that car.
Drove it to its limits.
I drove it to its limit. I pushed it with my hands a couple times too.
I almost had to push it with my hands in the middle of an intersection one time.
No, that's true. That's another story.
That's a different story. So anyway, Jason's downtown paying a ticket, and I have fuzz on my shirt, and it's really bothering me. Sorry.
You got it.
I got it.
I believe in you.
He's downtown paying a ticket. I don't know if he was walking in or walking out.
I don't remember that.
But he saw me drive by. My car caught his attention. And
False. Then, it was the hottie in the side of that car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, something caught his attention. So that night, I get to church and I walk in. We're talking to a mutual friend. Yep. And Jason said something about, "Hey, I saw you today."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Weird, stalker."
Yeah.
Not really, but
she probably was.
No, not at all. Like I was just like, "Oh, cool."
And I was super awkward. Still am, as you can tell by if you're still listening to this podcast, you can tell.
So anyway, for the rest of the night after we met, him and our mutual friend made fun of me for the rest of the evening.
That's right, because we were going to go to dinner, but you were going to go home and study.
Yes, I was a senior in high school.
She was going to study.
I had goals.
Hey, babe, you want to go out on a date with me? Sure, I have to study.
So, I don't know, they were probably going to Cheddar's or something after church because that was the Wednesday night hot spot at that point. You had to go to Cheddar's and pray they weren't out of mashed potatoes.
That's right, we did.
But anyway, they invited me to go, and I'm like, no, I really got to go home and study. And so they made fun of me, called me Schoolie.
Schoolie.
All night.
Yeah, Schoolie.
And somehow we ended up here in these chairs.
Making a podcast for you.
4 years later.
You guys are so lucky to get to listen to this.
No, but from then on, we just kind of got to know each other.
Yeah.
We had
I was just going to say super weird because, you were dating somebody else at the time.
I was. When we first met that night, I was dating someone else.
Yeah. And so I was interested. But I had also decided that I wasn't going to date anyone. I don't want you to think that we started dating while she was dating somebody else. That sounds terrible. That's not what happened at all. But anyway, we start to kind of become friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this was in October of that year, I believe. You know what? The night we met, wasn't that a Gabe Martinez concert? I think it was.
I know that was at the beginning somewhere. I don't know if it was the first night or not.
Yeah.
It might have been.
Yeah, Circle Slide.
Circle Slide.
They weren't called Circle Slide then. They were a Gabe Martinez band. We love Gabe and Debbie Martinez.
That's true.
Our friends in Missouri. I'm going to have to tag him in this because I'm sure he wouldn't listen to it on his own. I'm going to have to give him a timestamp.
We're going to tag him so we have one listener.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Gabe, for joining us.
Listen for your name on our world famous podcast. Heard by millions of 5 million people around the world. But anyway, so the night that she broke up with her boyfriend, she came and told me and said, "Hey, guess what? I broke up with my boyfriend."
It was the Hallelujah party.
It was a hallelujah.
It was the end of October.
Yeah.
It was the Halloween party at our church. It was a Hallelujah party.
Hallelujah night.
Oh yeah, Hallelujah night. That's yeah.
It wasn't a party. It was a Hallelujah night.
Yeah, you can't have parties at church. We can. We do what we want.
So yeah. So anyway, and then was it that same night that we went over to Patrick Schreppel's?
No, it was a different night.
Yeah. It was like a week later or something.
Yeah.
We went over to a friend's house and probably a horrible night for her. We went over to watch U2 videos on VHS.
He invited me to go.
Yeah, and I invited her to go, and so we go, and their house was always super, super cold, remember?
Oh my gosh, it was freezing in that house.
Yeah.
Literally shivering.
Yeah, Patrick Schreppel and Robbie Self.
Yep.
So we're watching YouTube videos. We're sitting on the couch. She gets a blanket because it's super cold and said, "Hey, you want to share this blanket with me?"
Because he's sitting over there.
I'm shivering.
Watching videos and shivering.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll share with you.
I said no.
I thought this guy liked me.
I said that I did not want to share a video. I said I didn't want to share. I said that because Jasmine's singing a video, and I caught her, saw her in the corner of my eye. I'm like, I didn't want to share a video.
She's trying to be sly and sneak in. You were. I was just praying you weren't going to trip over those curly cords.
I said I didn't want to share a blanket, really because I was trying super hard not to get distracted and have a girlfriend because I had done that the previous year.
Sworn off women. Sworn off woman.
Wow. So anyway, we even in spite of all of that, we go on our first date on November the 10th.
Yep.
Which is crazy that I remember that after all of these years, 24 years.
Because we've always
we have
celebrated it.
Yeah. So
we're that couple.
We go on our first date, and what was weird about that first date for me was I didn't really date at all. And I had a date the night before with a girl that I was trying to get a date with. And it just happened to work out. Right? Yeah, I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. So anyway, I go on this date with this other girl. It was super weird. One of the weirdest nights of my life, to be honest. We went to this church event at another church.
Okay, hold right there. Because I love that. I love it that I'm a player. I went to church with the girl the night before. I took this girl out on a date. I think it's sweet.
Oh my gosh. We went to eat with some friends. We went to a church thing. It was very, very weird church. I won't really talk about it because I don't do that, but it was weird.
And he told me.
I did. I was straight up.
Like when he asked me about going, I don't know what it was like. We were going out Friday night, I think. And you were like, just to be clear, like transparent, I'm going on a date to this like church service Thursday night with another girl that I already had planned. Like, so he was trying to be like honest. He wasn't trying to play me or anything. Like, so I respected that. We didn't really
options
know each other.
You got to have options. Just kidding.
Whatever. He talks a big game.
Yes. So we go on a date on Friday, and I mean, I'm a broke as a joke college student, like baroque. And so I go and buy some new clothes at Old Navy because that's what I could afford.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's good stuff.
It is. Oh yeah, I still wear Old Navy sometimes. So anyway, go buy some new clothes at Old Navy so that I can look fly for my new lady, for my
fly for a white guy,
for my boo. And so anyway, we go on this date. Where did I take you? Applebee's?
Yes.
We were fancy like Applebee's.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I think we just found our intro song.
And then we went and saw Meet the Parents. Yeah, Meet the Parents.
Still a great movie.
It is a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Name any movie.
That's a great movie.
It's the second time we've said that today.
It is.
Yeah, so we go on this day, and the horrible thing about the whole thing, like the great thing and the horrible thing, is she wanted to go out again on Saturday, which is awesome because I had probably had 3 dates in my whole life, and then I had 3 dates on 3 consecutive nights. But
you were living the life.
But I didn't have any money. Like I was broke. So second date, horrible. This is awful. Second date, I said, hey, I don't really feel like going out tonight. What do you think about just coming over to my grandma's house and we watch a movie?
He lived with his grandma.
So, yeah. The second date, though, I'm like, hey, baby, you want to come back to my place? And then she was like, sure.
I mean, to be fair, I felt pretty comfortable because it was his grandma's house and she was going to be there. So I felt like this really probably can't go too wrong. And I thought it was sweet. Like I didn't know it was because he was broke. But I thought it was sweet that he wanted to cook for me.
I did. I cooked things that were already in the fridge.
I mean,
and we watched a movie that I had because I couldn't even go rent a movie.
Yeah. And it was great. I had a great time.
Billy Madison.
It's a great movie.
On VHS. Wow.
Yeah. So we had our first and second date.
Uh-huh.
And
was it that following Sunday, that Sunday night that we went out, or was it the Wednesday night after that?
I think it was the Wednesday after.
Yeah. So she decided to ride with me to dinner after church on Wednesday night. And I was like, in my string of romantic actions, I said, hey, I don't really know if this is going to go anywhere or not, but I'm going to move here real soon. And so if you're not down with that, then maybe we can just be friends.
He explained. I mean,
I didn't say it like that.
You can go into a little more detail, I think. Like he was moving to Carlsbad. So we were in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yeah. He was moving to Carlsbad, New Mexico to join his parents in ministry. And he was just very upfront about, listen, like when I graduate
I was trying to be good, you guys.
Yeah, he was. When I graduate from Bible school, my plan is to go here. This is what I'm doing. If you can't see yourself maybe moving and doing that or doing ministry, like we should just not take this any further and be friends.
Yeah.
And for me, I had always felt like I wasn't going to stay in Tulsa. I'd always thought I'd probably do full-time missions is really where I was kind of leaning. And so to me, the concept of moving across the country didn't scare me. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Like, let's see where it goes. Who knows? So we went out to eat that night. He had a really, really awesome pickup line that he passed down the table to me.
Yes, we were sitting at opposite ends of the table.
I don't know why we didn't sit together.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either.
But we were with a ton of friends.
Yeah. So I got a sugar packet, and I passed it all the way down the table to her, and I said, "Hey, you dropped your name tag."
Aw.
Sugar.
Yes, please.
So, guys, if you need a pickup line, it works. That one works.
It's what won me over. I mean, he could have just proposed on the spot.
Yeah.
So then was it the next weekend? Or was it before all that? No, it had to be before our first date. When we went to the movies with a bunch of friends and they schemed and made us go save seats together.
Yeah.
And then came in and they were like, I was at one end of the row. He was at the end of the row. We're saving seats. This is before you bought like your ticket with your seat like reserved. So we
didn't have internet. We had, I didn't have a phone.
I had a phone.
You had a phone. I didn't have a phone. I was a broke college kid, y'all.
I was still living at home.
So yeah, we didn't have cell phones. I know that's hard for you to imagine because you're probably watching this on your cell phone or listening to this on your cell phone. But yeah, anyway.
So yeah, our friends totally schemed and had us go save seats, and then they came in and like, oh, Tiffany, just scoot down all the way by Jason so we can just all come in, and made us sit next to each other.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was somewhere in the mix.
We held hands that night. Huh? Did we hold hands?
Yeah, we did.
Aw.
That's sweet. We did the whole like arm resting slowly.
Aw.
I still like holding your hand.
Yeah, I like holding your hand too.
Okay, so moving on.
Talk about so we dated, for a while and a couple years. Talk about the proposal.
So
because I always tell this story, so
Jason had just released a CD.
Oh yeah.
And
expressions.
So in his acknowledgement section of expressions,
I forgot about this. This is horrible.
He wrote.
She wasn't supposed to see it. Not yet.
He wrote, "Thank you for saying yes to me on," and put the date. I don't remember the date now that you proposed.
Cringy. This is cringy.
Then he tells me, "Don't look at the acknowledgments on this CD because it's going to spoil a surprise."
Cringy.
I mean, who's not going to look? Honestly. Yes, you would have. I looked. I didn't for a while. Like I did really good for a long time. And then like, cause it wasn't like released yet, right?
It
was just like the pre-release. It's not like it was a big release thing, but we made the CDs ourselves.
Yeah, we did. We burned them. We burned them, put little labels on them. I don't know if anybody, y'all don't remember that. You would put the labels upside down in this little like spring thingy and just go pop and pop the label on.
Yep.
We would do that, put it in a little jewel case.
Yep. So anyway, I did good for a long time, but then he left his little like sample with the artwork and stuff at my house and he left and I just couldn't fight it anymore. So I knew when he was going to propose.
She should have just said no.
No way. But so we leave on a trip to go, it was Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Right?
To come here.
We were coming to Carlsbad for Thanksgiving and I knew he was going to propose on that trip. And I didn't know how it was going to go down. But
going down for real.
We leave on this road trip. We go to, first of all, I guess it starts with Jason leading up, like the day before, the morning of, as we're packing up and stuff. Like, we got to check the tires. We got to check the tires. Don't forget, we got to check the tires. Make sure the tires are good before we leave town. Yep. And I'm like, my tires are fine. Because obviously we're taking my car because we already established.
We're going to take the Cavalier, baby. Did I already have the Nissan then? Was it?
No.
Yeah, it was a Nissan.
Oh, was it?
Is that what I got? No, it's a Saturn.
Oh, yeah, it was
a Saturn. Yeah. No, I already had the Saturn because I got the Saturn before I graduated school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right before.
Regardless.
So, yep.
So anyway, he has this whole thing leading up, like we got to check the tires, blah, blah, blah. So we go, we get gas. We don't check the tires. And then it's like, was it snowing or
it was raining?
I know it was wet. But,
yeah, it was raining.
Okay, so it was raining. We get on the turnpike, toll road between Tulsa and Oklahoma City.
Yep.
So we get on the turnpike and he's like, "Oh, we forgot to check the tires." And I'm like, they're fine. Like, what's your obsession with the tires? Like, we have to check the tires. And so he pulls over in the rain on the side of the turnpike. And he gets out of the car and comes around.
This is the most romantic thing.
Knocks on my window. And he's like, "Hey, get the tire gauge out of the glove box. And I was like, okay. So I'm in the passenger seat, right? So I pop open the glove box. I reach in. I move stuff out of the way. And I grab the tire gauge and I hand it to him. And he looks at me like I'm an idiot and says, that's not a tire gauge. And I'm like, yes, it is. And he's like, no, we almost got a fight right there. Because I'm like, yes, it is. I know what a tire gauge is. Like, take it. And he's like, so no. And he was like, well, you just look, get that one. And one of the things that I had moved out of the way when I opened the glove box, not paying attention because I had tunnel vision, was a ring box with a little sticker on it that said tire gauge. Jasmine's laughing so hard. So he kneels down in a puddle
of water. I knelt down. It was all
and proposes.
That's why we need sound effects, Jasmine, for the future.
It was super sweet and it was hilarious. And there's nothing that's more us. Like, I think it's funny. But what makes it even funnier is apparently he had a different plan. But like, it wasn't supposed to happen like right then. But like he said, that's what you told me. You were supposed to happen like sometime down the road or something, and he just couldn't wait anymore.
Oh, yes.
Like as soon as he got on the turnpike, he's like, "We got to pull over right now and do this." And I'm like, "What is your?"
Because I was so freaking nervous. There was a playlist. Well, it was a burn CD,
right?
But it was supposed to like get to this like specific song, and like once that song was over, so I just like skipped ahead to that song because I couldn't wait anymore. But it was supposed to be like song 8 or something.
Good old Steven Speaks.
Yeah, it was Steven Speaks. Passenger Seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we might have to play a clip of that.
Yeah, we could.
Because it's really sweet. Like, so the premise of the song is like, I've got all that I need right here in the passenger seat.
And she was
right?
in the passenger seat.
And I was in the passenger seat. And then that song finished and then he proposed, right? So it was really sweet.
Y'all, I still do stupid crap like this every day. Like, I come up with these plans that don't make any sense to anybody except for me. And then I try to carry them out and they don't work. And like my whole life could just be a sitcom of like things that, anyway.
Hey, you know what? It worked.
It worked. The official fist bump.
No, but it was really sweet. And Steven Speaks was a band that we had gone to see in some like little local spots in Tulsa area and stuff like that. So it was something that kind of we felt a connection to. So it really was kind of part of our story. So it was really sweet.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Maybe I'll tag him on social media too, on Instagram. So we'll have 2 listeners.
Yeah.
Gabe Martinez and Rockwell. Listen to it as well.
Yeah.
Probably not.
We don't really know him, so it's a little different.
Not at all.
We feel like we do. You're part of our story.
Wow. Yeah. I bet he's embarrassed at this point too. So
he's never going to listen to it. So it's okay.
Somebody will tell him.
The millions of people that hear the story.
5 million people.
5 million.
Broadcasted around the world.
I'm embarrassed now. Jasmine was embarrassed earlier. Now I'm embarrassed.
This is our story. And so we moved to Carlsbad.
We got married first.
We got married. We moved to Carlsbad. We started youth pastoring. We youth pastored for a lot of years, as we said before. Mm-hmm. We have stories like you wouldn't believe about just ministry and youth pastoring and just crazy stuff. But now as of last September, we are lead pastors, and we're doing a podcast.
Yeah,
that's broadcasted around the world.
Around the world.
It's better. It's worse when you say it. Like it sounded so good when it comes out of my mouth, and then I heard you say it, and I was like, oh, maybe
it's your turn to be embarrassed.
Maybe we shouldn't say this anymore. Yeah. So why do a podcast? Like, I think that's maybe if you're still listening, you're like, why? What's the point in this whole thing?
You're probably really wondering
why are you guys doing this podcast?
Why are you yapping?
Yeah. Yeah. You talk about it.
Me?
Yeah.
All right.
You do it.
So when we started talking about doing a podcast, really it just began with what are more ways that we can connect with people? You know, doing life together isn't just about us doing life together, but doing life with other Christians, doing life with our church familia, just really being able to connect with people more than you can with just a couple hours on Sunday morning, or, Wednesday night or whatever. And so we want more ways that we can really connect with our church family, but it doesn't have to be limited to that.
Right. For sure.
So, just more ways that we can just talk about things that maybe we can't talk about on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. It's, it's hard because, I hear all the time, like, well, I think churches need to be talking about this subject, or my church doesn't talk about this, or I haven't heard you address this subject or that subject. But I think a couple of things come into that, because you get 52 Sundays a year, which is hard. Mm-hmm. And by the time you subtract, well, we had an Easter service, and then we had a guest speaker here, and then, we had a Christmas service, and then, it's all these different things. So you subtract here and there, right? And then I think you also have to factor in, as you're determining, subject matter in a church service, what's going to pertain to the congregation at large. And so things like, we talked about dating, and that's a subject that we'll probably hit on, here in the future, but that doesn't pertain to everybody in our church. But on a Sunday, I think it's important that you walk away, that every single person walks away with something, right, to help their life. And so in this format, if we're talking about something that doesn't pertain to you, turn it off, and catch us next week. But I think that all of that is part of doing life together.
Absolutely. I know we both listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And I really like the podcast feel, because it's just so relaxed and down to earth. And I feel like when I listen to somebody's podcast, especially when I listen to it for, months or a long period of time, I feel like I know that person better, right? And you get to hear their heart on things that you wouldn't hear in a standard sermon or something like that. You get to learn things about them that, we can't sit down with every family in our congregation for an hour or so every week and spend that time with each one.
Right.
But we can do this, and it helps them get to know us better. And then hopefully you guys are going to respond. Yeah. You're going to comment, you're going to send us back information, drop it in the chat, all that stuff. Hey, chat. I hear middle schoolers say that all the time. It drives me nuts. Anyway, you won't hear that again from me.
You know what I noticed that I've been doing?
What?
Like, I've been talking just regular here, but when I want to say something, like, I don't know, I can't remember an example that happened 3 seconds ago, but I lean in, I'm all like this.
Is that like the millennial pause?
Should I keep doing that?
Like, how they have the millennial pause?
I don't know what that is.
No?
No.
Oh, there's like this thing about the millennial pause. Like when you start a video, like if you're making a TikTok, like the millennial generation and older, like will pause. It's like they'll hit record and be like, hey guys. But like the younger don't do that. Like they hit record and they're already talking. Like it's more instant.
I'm barely millennial.
I know. But I'm just saying, maybe the whole leaning into the mic is something like that. It's because you're old. You don't have to eat it.
I was trying to be all like, I don't know, slyly.
Okay. Anyway, why a podcast?
What were you talking about?
So we want you guys to give us feedback. We want to know things that you would like to hear us talk about. I realize this one, it seems like a lot of rambling, and it's really just so that people that don't know us can get to know us, and the people that do know us can get to know us better.
If you're looking for something, I just leaned in again. If you're looking for something serious, do not listen to this podcast.
We will have our serious moments.
We will. Yes, we will.
Wow.
It's getting more exaggerated.
Yeah, that's a little frightening. So anyway, we want to do life with you, but we can't do life with you if you don't respond and, tell us the things that you're going through. Tell us the things that you want to hear us talk about. We're going to have some guests on and stuff at different times, and
maybe not after this one.
Nobody.
They may check it out. This is not good for my brand.
Jasmine, you're a ride or die. I don't know if you guys can hear her or not, but
She said, I got you.
whoa, it was not like that at all.
I don't even know why I did that. Why did I do that? I've become a different person on a podcast.
Apparently.
I'm not different at all.
No,
This
you're
is
not
every
different.
day.
This is just real life.
This is, oh, wow.
It's just not Sunday morning, Jason. This is real life. Not that sounds bad, like you're fake on Sunday mornings. It's like professional versus chill, Jason.
Put on my church face.
That sounds terrible.
My church voice.
We don't do fake, guys.
No, we do not do fake. We don't do fake at church. I have a saying. I mean, if we're gonna get canceled, we should just get canceled now.
Okay.
Just get it over with. But I tell this to our church.
One good run.
I tell this to our church all the time that I would rather have a church full of people that cuss a little than a church full of people that put on their church clothes and their church face every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just be real. How
Let's
about
not
that?
fake
Can
it.
we just be real?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for blowing up the chat when I said, can we be real? Thumbs up if you can be real. All right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So we're going to be on every week. Every Tuesday, we'll be releasing episodes. Share this, subscribe to this, like it. Let's try to blow this thing up. 5 million people.
5 million. It's on you guys.
Yeah.
It's all on you.
We're putting out this brilliant content.
Right. We just need you to share it.
Yeah. But seriously, let us know some things that you want to hear about. There's nothing that's off limits. We want to talk about all kinds of stuff on here. We've got some things lined out, but let us know what you want to hear about, what we want to get into, guests coming up, all kinds of stuff every single week. Like and share. I think that's the gist of everything that we got.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to give a little bit of a sneak peek of some things we're going to be discussing?
Yeah, sure. One of the things that is important to me is mental health. And so we're going to talk about mental health. I think that guys, full disclosure, I didn't silence my phone. It's ringing.
I mean, it's silenced. It's just
vibrating
it was loudly on the end table.
All right. Wow. So we're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about the church and what the church is, what the function of the church is, some of the challenges that I see in the church. We're going to talk about those things. Family. We talk a lot about family.
Yeah, family, parenting.
Yep. Marriage.
Yes.
One of the things that we do in mental health, in regards to mental health and marriage, is we have a marriage counselor. And so we'll talk about that. We'll probably be calling him after these episodes. So no, I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah, we're going to get into those things. We're going to get into some Bible topics. We'll probably talk politics a little bit. We're going to talk
touchy.
about world events, and things that are going on. I'll probably talk about sports from time to time, but because I love sports.
Yep.
I actually had a fantastic sports analogy last night in a group text with some
He's
friends.
proud of it too.
I was talking. I was making a spiritual point, and I had an amazing sports analogy that I feel like maybe could really impact a lot of people's lives.
It was really great, and it was with some friends of ours that are not real big sports fans.
No, they're not. But
so it's kind of funny because then like our friend said, you know what, I can hang with your sports analogies as long as you take my redneck ones.
That's true. Yeah.
And we're like, we got you.
I understand redneck though too. So
I mean, we're Okies.
I'm not redneck, but I understand redneck. So
it's true.
Yeah. What else are we going to talk about?
I don't know. I think that's about it. I don't know. How are we doing on our time? We had a goal of somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour and a half.
We're there. We're there, baby. I said that at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't remember? I thought you were taking notes of everything that I said.
Always. I remember every word that comes out of your mouth, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing Life Together podcast. Y'all, thanks for joining in. Thanks for making it this far. And be with us next week.
Yeah.
As we're gonna jump into some stuff. We're
I
gonna
enjoyed getting to know us a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think our next podcast is on the church. So
the church.
yeah, that'll be the subject that we center around. So you guys have a great week. We say at our church, and we're going to say it here too a lot, that God is madly in love with you. Don't ever forget it. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, be blessed.